Hey everybody, welcome back to Sons of Cinema. My name is Ron, and I'm with my buddy here today, Mike.
Hello.
And Mike, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm good.
What'd you do last night?
I'm so last night I went to a buddy's house. And he's a really big Bears fan. And
Yeah.
so, they were in the wild card
Yeah.
against the Packers. And the whole time, he's just throwing back beers like we're a fourth quarter team. I had no skin in the game, so I was just sitting back watching and started fucking with him. And I was like, dude, it's over, right? Fourth quarter hits. Lo and behold, they come back and they win by, I think it was 4 points. So, and it was crazy. And so I just thought that was pretty cool. I was like, okay, be cool to see the Bears go to the Super Bowl this year.
I don't know about that, but I watched that yesterday too, and I'm glad they won because I'm doing this ESPN. It's like brackets now for the playoffs. So right now I'm 2-0 because I took the Rams and I took the Bears. I've actually got the Rams winning the Super Bowl, but who knows? They played like garbage yesterday. They barely got by. In another good game, but I knew the Bears would come through in that because they've had a lot of like fourth quarter comebacks and shit this year. So yeah, we chilled and watched it here, and that was my night last night. But I wanted to talk to you real quick and get into, so on January 7th, we were supposed to get this fucking well, what people thought would be some kind of secret episode in this Conformity Gate shit for Stranger Things season. What is it? Season 5?
Season 5, yeah.
So the finale. So everyone was like, all right, January 7th, we're getting this secret episode. Here's all these facts. And what happened? What happened, Mike?
So nothing. As we all expected, but I'm not going to lie. So I kind of, on my TikTok For You page, I kind of just got, bombarded with Conformity Gate. And it got to a point where I was like, you know what? This might happen, because there were some shit was just like reaching out there, right? Like, they had 12, they had seven things in this episode, and this episode was 107 minutes long. And it's like, okay. Like, that's stupid. But if you actually go back and watch the season, they were setting up some like pretty interesting things, right? For example, the spoilers, by the way, the upside down being a wormhole. Are you familiar with quantum physics?
I am. I studied it for a short time here in my my office. Yeah, I mean, I'm familiar with the concept.
Right. But okay, so for those who don't know, a wormhole is essentially how scientists theorize we would travel backwards in time, right? From one end of space to the other instantaneously. Okay. So I thought they were going to set up some time travel shenanigans, right? And I was like, well, they kind of left that thread open. Like, why else would you do a wormhole in a story like this without, doing what wormholes are known for?
Right.
So that was like a big piece of evidence for me. And two, just the Duffer Brothers, who are the creators of the show, just constantly doing interviews saying, oh, remember back in season 1? How did the Demogorgon open the door? Demogorgons can't open doors. So who did it? Oh, we're going to find out. And it's like, what happened with that?
Well, the Duffer Brothers, in a lot of interviews that I saw too, like people would ask them shit and they were like, oh, we never really thought of that.
Right.
And look, it seems like a lot of people had the opinion that I did that last episode sucked. And we got basically the same scenes over and over with all those, the soliloquies and shit, and the let's stop and talk to each other about our feelings and say goodbye like every 15 fucking minutes. It was just, I don't know, man. And we talked about it, and the Conformity Gate shit, and I was just like, I just think, look, I think Netflix, because like you said, they were putting feelers out there to like. I think
Mm-hmm.
we're just to fuck with people
Mm-hmm.
because people like believe anything nowadays. They'll believe anything you put out there. Anything
Right.
for a conspiracy. And I mean, the only one that you ever got me on, if you remember, was you always throw it in my face the
Andrew
No Way
Garfield.
Home shit, the
Yep.
Spider-Man shit. Oh, the three of them, they're going to be in this movie. I'm like, dude, no, they're not. It's probably fake shit. And you got me on that one. But there's never been, if you think about it, what other rumors that were humongous stayed secret and actually happened? Like, I can't think of any.
Some video game stuff, but to be fair, the Andrew Garfield being in No Way Home, that got leaked, and then everyone was saying, "Oh, it's AI," but then experts were actually coming out and saying, "This is not AI," right? Here's how. So there was an actual scientific breakdown of the evidence, and like, this is why it's not fake. So that's when I was like, "Hey, dude, like that's real. He's gonna be in the fucking movie."
Yeah.
And with all these leaks, it kind of makes me wonder, like Marvel has to be, Kevin Feige has to be approving these leaks because there's no fucking way. You think a $1 billion industry like Marvel Studios wouldn't absolutely stop at nothing to find out who is leaking shit and not fucking not blacklist them?
Of course they're doing it.
Here's a personal anecdote. Okay, I used to work at a certain football stadium. One of the people we hosted was Taylor Swift. This is kind of good. If you do enough research, you can figure out what stadium this was. But we were the first stop on this humongous tour that she was doing, right?
Yeah.
And so you have like different divisions. You have housekeeping, you have conversions, all this stuff. And there was someone in housekeeping who went to one of the upper levels, and while they were cleaning, they took out their phone, took a picture of the stage, right? And then sent it out. I think they said it was sent out 17 times. They were able to take every instance of that photo, take it down off the internet within, I think it was an hour. And this is a football stadium.
Right.
And so I'm just over here like, there's no fucking way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm sure it's a new way of marketing for Marvel. And it's genius, actually, because they're just putting out little snippets and they got people excited with the leak shit because everyone gets excited. Oh, it's leaked. And we watch it even though it looks like trash on some kind of like old flip phone.
Sure.
And that Marvel hired some people to just record it probably off their screen, or and they sent it out and everyone went ape shit. But now we've all caught on. So, but I like the way Marvel's actually marketing this with these little snippets of the movie, and they could just keep doing that until the movie opens. Because think of how many characters are in this movie.
Trailers used to be. Remember The Dark Knight when it came out? What you had to go see? I forget what movie it was. To see like the first 15 minutes of The Dark Knight.
Oh, they used to put that out in theaters. I don't remember
I forget what movie it was, but you basically before this actually happened in the SpongeBob movie that just came out. They released like the first 15 minutes of the new Ninja Turtles movie. It was like a sneak preview. They did that with The Dark Knight, that opening scene where they're robbing the bank. They actually they showed that in theaters. If you went to a certain movie, that would basically be your trailers.
Remember how obsessed we were over that first trailer to The Dark Knight Rises with the football field and the kids singing the national anthem? Yeah. How did the song go? Yeah.
Dude, I was, you know what, till this day, that is the most accurate version of Bane we've gotten, even though he's a white English man. Okay. Yeah. I get it. But would you rather have Bane, who's fucking white and whitewashed, but he's got the intellect and he's got the physical prowess? Or would you rather have what fucking Joel Schumacher did, which is basically just Bane?
Smash. No, I mean that guy looked awesome though. The way he was big as hell.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that Bane is ridiculous.
Yeah,
But yeah, I like. Look, the more the years pass with the Dark Knight trilogy, the more I'm gonna say I think the trilogy got better as it went on. Even though the Dark Knight was awesome with Heath Ledger, I still think it's stepped up the villains, the consequences, like for what was happening in the next movie. And I love it, man. I was wondering what would break first.
Yeah,
your mind or your body.
I gotta be honest. This is blasphemy. But if Heath Ledger didn't die, I think that Tom Hardy's Bane would have been better received by general audiences and by fans.
How do you think those two would have worked together, though? Those two villains, Bane and the Joker, because Bane wasn't crazy like the Joker. I mean, I guess he was in his own way, but he had a vision to make the world better, essentially, kind of like Thanos. But the Joker is about chaos.
That's interesting because Christopher Nolan apparently is notorious for with those movies he didn't have a pre-planned trilogy. He was like, I'm doing this one, okay, this one's done, now I'm moving on to the next one. What would happen after this? And so there's no doubt that if Heath Ledger would have been alive, he would have been in The Dark Knight Rises. I don't know for how long or for what role. Maybe Bane would have. I think when Bane's releasing all the prisoners, he would have been like, leave that one in there because he's gonna fuck up my plans. He's just too chaotic. People were saying maybe he would have been the judge, Cillian Murphy's role, where he's playing judge, jury, executioner. Maybe it would have been him. Awesome. Maybe, who knows? Maybe even Joker and Batman team up. Maybe Joker's like, hey, what's the point of being chaotic and doing all crazy shit if there's no fucking city to fucking rule or to do that in, right? I don't know. It could have been anything, but we'll never know.
Yeah, we'll never know. Hey, so getting back to the Doomsday trailers, what did you think of those trailers? What was your favorite one?
The X-Men one. By
Definitely.
Far. It's come to my attention that comic book fans are not excited for Doomsday. They not some, but a lot of the sentiment is, I'm not really that excited. Of course I'm going to go watch it, but I'm not that excited. And I don't think people realize, they don't remember a time where like all this shit didn't exist. We didn't have these movies, okay? You had Blade, you had the Fantastic Four movies, and then you had the first 3 X-Men movies, and those were like your golden standard.
Yeah.
And now, like, people are just like, oh, I'm not excited. Maybe it's oversaturation, but like, I think Marvel's listened to the fans. I want Cameo Fest. I want to see. Back in the day when Marvel was still kicking off, we were all like, oh, imagine if Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man was in an Avengers movie. We're going to fucking get that. You know, imagine if Hugh Jackman's Wolverine and Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man fucking meet. You know, what would that look like? Imagine if fucking Blade was in these movies. Like, we're getting everything we want.
I think I read a rumor that Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man and Hugh Jackman's Wolverine are going to square off in Doomsday.
So I heard that rumor too. I think Doomsday, because like someone brought up a good point. Like, what is the big threat in Doomsday? Are all our heroes just fighting one Doom? Is it a bunch of Doom bots? Is it a bunch of variants of Doom? I think the most likely is that, just like in every Avengers movie, we have the good guys facing off against each other at some point, right? Maybe Doom's playing, he's like Palpatine, he's pulling strings, playing chess. He's like, hey, X-Men, these Avengers over here are the bad guys. Go get them, pit them against each other, and then at the end they figure out, oh, Doom's the actual threat. Doom's gonna win in this movie. He has to, because it has to set up Secret Wars, and it has to go up. It has to be above what Thanos did. Otherwise,
right. Do you think they're going to uppower Doom, or do you think they're just going to make him so intellectually smart that he can manipulate everybody, or are they going to uppower him because they have to uppower him, just like you said, because how are they going to make him more powerful than Thanos? Like, so, I like Doom, but has he ever been more powerful than Thanos? I guess unless he became
in some variations, but what they're going to do is his powers are going to be. People don't have a good representation of Doom powers because of the old Fantastic Four movies, but it's basically a mix between magic and technology, right? So his mom was a witch, and then he's super smart, and he combined those together, and he's got magical tech powers. So it'll be interesting.
I'm excited for it. I don't give a shit what nobody says, because like you said, like, I don't know what people have to complain about. Like, what other comic book movies are coming out right now that could be better than this? Well, that's a rhetorical question, because I'm sure people have 1,000 answers of characters that still haven't been represented on film. But I don't know, man. This just seems like the culmination of just everything. And then I'm more worried about after Secret Wars, where do we go from there? Because they kind of blew their wad with Endgame, and that's why we've had the last 6-7 years of nonsense. Disney got greedy. They saw that, everyone blew their load on Endgame, and now Disney wanted to make, all these shows and all this crap nobody cared about. And then that's why everyone's like down on, like, Marvel and Doomsday and all this shit. But
so what they're going to do after Secret Wars, this isn't up to me. This is what they're gonna do. They're gonna reboot everything. So they're going to reboot everything. It's gonna be kind of like on Crisis on Infinite Earths, right? Where at the end they all merged into one Earth, and then some things got changed, some things stayed the same, right? They're gonna do that, and essentially what's gonna happen is Tom Holland's gonna stay Spider-Man because he's still got 2 more movies on this contract, and he's also with Sony. By the way, Sony also said they're more willing to share Spider-Man characters. So if you don't know, the reason Vincent D'Onofrio has not been in a Spider-Man movie as Kingpin is because Marvel only has the rights to him on TV because he's a shared villain with Daredevil.
Gotcha.
But now that I think Sony's kind of being like, dude, these movies are Spider-Man came this close to being better than Endgame box office wise, like there's some potential here. Kevin Feige knows what the fuck he's doing. So Tom Holland's going to stay Spider-Man. They're going to recast Black Panther. Obviously, the tragic death of Chadwick Boseman threw a wrench in all those plans.
Right.
Which, by the way, I'm totally fine with Shuri being the new Black Panther. I think she was great in Wakanda Forever.
I am too. Hold on. I have a question real quick. Don't forget where you are right here. But I have a question. Sorry to interrupt. I was wondering, they always talk about in the MCU, there's never been mutants essentially introduced. Isn't Namor a mutant? He's a mutant.
Yes.
So why is he never given credit for being a mutant in the MCU?
He was. If you go back and watch Wakanda Forever, he says, I was born different. A mutant, they called me. Also, back in, I know you probably didn't watch it because I didn't either. Miss Marvel, the show. At the end, they were like, oh, your powers don't come from the bracelets or whatever the fuck it was. He was like, you have a gene, a mutation. And then it plays the little X-Men, like it's
right. I remember that
in the background. So they have, but the problem was they had a direction that they were going. Then Disney acquired Fox, and they were like, dude, we're not going to sit on this IP for fucking 10 years until we're done with the saga. Like, we need to get the ball rolling. So that's why they're rebooting, so they can also bring in the X-Men. Whatever X-Men that are going to be in Doomsday, it's going to be all the OG characters. When it all reboots, we're getting a completely new cast of X-Men. Cyclops will be the main focus of the X-Men because he's the leader. Wolverine's taking a back seat, which I'm okay with. I'm not ready for anyone else to play Wolverine besides Hugh Jackman. I need time. And so they're going to keep Spider-Man the same. They're going to recast everyone else. They're going to recast Captain America. They're going to recast Bruce Banner, Tony Stark. I think they might keep Benedict Cumberbatch because I think he's got one more movie slated.
He does, yeah.
But everyone else is getting recasted. And then obviously they have a chance to introduce the X-Men. And then the whole saga is going to be focused mainly on an X-Men threat. So maybe like Apocalypse, maybe Mr. Sinister. Who knows?
Are you saying they're going to recast even Steve Rogers, Iron Man, everybody, Black Widow?
Yep.
All of
except Tom Holland, Doctor Strange. Shang-Chi might stay just because that movie did good and they're in reports of making a second one. But yeah, other than that, everyone's getting wiped. Like not dying, but like it's got to get reset. And I think that's probably for the better. Can you imagine? That means like now can you imagine if they reboot and they do Civil War again with all of the X-Men available and Spider-Man and like Hulk? Can you imagine if they did that?
Yeah.
It'd be huge. It'd be another Endgame type deal.
It'd be huge.
But to be fair, Secret Wars is kind of like that too, but it's not as political.
Yeah, I think maybe they'd stick more to the storyline too, a little bit more in if they redid Civil War. Not that I didn't like the other story, and that's another trilogy of movies that got better as it went along. Captain America, the first one was cool. Okay, the second one, awesome. Third one was like
it was an Avengers movie, but see, awesome. That's the thing. Like we talk about the best we talk about the best Marvel movies, and people don't realize that. People complain about Cameo Fest. The best Marvel movies, solo projects, are the ones with the fucking cameos. Spider-Man No Way Home had Doctor Strange. Fucking Toby. That movie did the best out of all three. Civil War it was an Avengers movie, right? Thor Ragnarok had fucking Hulk in it, and that did the best out of all of them. It works because we go and see the movie,
right?
And that's what we want. Even Multiverse of Madness, I got to be honest, that should have been more of a cameo fest.
Yeah,
but it was.
They tried to make it stand alone on just with Benedict Cumberbatch, but they learned because they're doing that with Brand New Day. Look at all the people that are going to be in that.
Punisher, Hulk.
I can't wait for that movie. The Punisher.
Sadie Sink. By the way, going back to Stranger Things season 5, not to be a creep, but Sadie Sink is such a beautiful woman, and I love Zendaya as her version of MJ, right? But part of me also does want to see Sadie Sink as Mary Jane Watson, as we know her in the comics.
Right.
That would be, I think, a perfect casting.
I like MJ. I like Zendaya in these movies, and I want them to be together. And I never thought that because I've always been like in the comic books. I think the significant other of somebody, my favorite was always Mary Jane, because you saw them from the time they first kind of got together, and you saw their whole relationship as it went on, and all the other stuff that happened with that. But I don't know. I mean, Sadie Sink as Mary Jane. I mean, I guess that could work. But I'd rather have him get back with Zendaya,
Yeah.
MJ. That's just me.
Out of all three of the Spider-Man, like the big three, Toby, Andrew, Tom, my favorite on-screen relationship was Andrew and Emma. Just because the bickering and the back and forth, that felt natural. Maybe it's the writing. Obviously, all three Spider-Men have been in a relationship with their MJ in real life. But I could never tell that with Toby and Kirsten. I can kind of tell that with Tom and Zendaya, even though they're a little more hush-hush about their relationship, a little bit more private. But you could see it on screen with Andrew and Emma. And honestly, her death, the fact they had the balls to kill her off, like obviously we all kind of had a feeling it was coming, but the fact they actually did it, and like it was pretty comic accurate too. Like that was amazing. And then they give him his redemption arc in No Way Home. See that, like the whole cameo fest, like you can't. They're taking old storylines that like were left unresolved, and they're fucking solving them in these movies, right? Like that's genius.
I wanted to ask you. I know we just finished with Doomsday, and actually, I think we left off with the Mary Jane conversation. But I saw a really cool movie last night called Together. Have you seen it?
Dave Franco and his fiance.
I think they're married.
I haven't seen it, but I know the premise.
Check it out. It's pretty cool. It's on Hulu right now. But because you had said something that made me think of with the reboot with the MCU of like somehow people kind of melding together. I don't know how they're going to reboot it, but it just made me think of that movie last night. And it was an awesome movie. I liked it. It's pretty. You know what's weird though? When you watch Dave Franco now in this movie, he just played basically James Franco. Like it was a cross between James Franco and like James Dean. He's like, hey, man. Like, you know how, what does he say? Tastes so good. James Franco.
You know what's funny? We've talked about two actors right now that I just saw a movie that they were both in when they were younger. Super bad. Obviously, Emma Stone is in that movie. She plays Jules, but Dave Franco is also in it for a short second when they're on the soccer field and Seth keeps kicking the ball and he's like, "What the fuck, Seth?" And then he walks by, he's like, "Fuck you!" And then you just see his little baby face for like 30 seconds, and I'm like, okay. And I was watching it with Trinity, and she's like, "Oh my god, I didn't know Dave Franco was in this movie." I was like, "Yeah." And then just rewatching Superbad, I was like, "Holy shit!" There are so many like actors who like went on to become, I wouldn't say huge. Well, some of them were right. Obviously, I think
Jonah Hill.
I think Emma Stone is probably the biggest out of the whole cast, just because she's led her own movies. I can't think of a movie Jonah Hill has led.
Well, what do you mean? He's got like an Academy Award nomination, if not a win. You might want to look that one up. But for Wolf of Wall Street, dude, he was awesome in that.
Yeah, but have you seen Emma in Begonia?
No, I don't even know what the fuck Begonia is. Like,
it's got Jesse Plemons in it.
Frankenstein movie.
You gotta watch it.
Did you see her in that weird Frankenstein movie? She won an Academy Award for it, and she's actually nude in that movie.
And also, she's an Arizona native.
Well, all the best actors are, right?
Didn't your sister go to high school with her?
No, she went to school with Adie Bryant. She used to be on SNL. She
yes, okay, I know who you're talking about.
She I guess she was like a senior when my sister was a freshman or something, and they run the drama club or some shit. I don't know, but
I know.
Well, yeah, in Superbad, you've got, and even Michael Cera is awesome. Like, I always wondered what happened to him. We saw him in the Barbie movie when he was, what was his name? He had, it's like
Ken.
Alex. No, he was
Oh.
Alex. Like, he was the other weird doll. Ken was my boy Ryan Gosling. I'm just Ken.
Do you know who Zach Bryan is?
Is it a singer?
Yeah, he's a country artist.
Yeah.
He's actually like one of the biggest country artists in the world. Anyway, he just dropped an album like 2 days ago, and like there's a song that's like number 5. Anyway, when I was at that watch party last night for the Bears game, this dude that was there, his name's Ronnie. Shout out Ronnie.
Right as well, Ronnie.
He was like, hey man, or they were talking about a song that Zach Bryan just showed up or just released, and they played it, and he was like, yeah, that's my voice. That's like, or I was like, oh, you know Zach, or I was like, oh, it just sounds like you. And he was like, no, Zach Bryan's one of my best friends. I was at his wedding. Like, I know him. That's my voice on the album. And I was like, oh shit, okay. I'm not a huge fan of country. I'll listen to it. But then as he started going on, he was like, oh yeah, I was hanging out with Zach and Shane. And I was like, Shane Gillis? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, who the fuck is this guy? I was like,
does that guy Zach live in Arizona?
No, they're from. He was from Oklahoma, so that kind of that southern region.
I would love to hang out with Shane Gillis for just an evening, just to have some beers and then, just speak the shit.
You know, obviously we just kind of prodded him a little bit. I was like, we were like, do you like know Shane on a personal level? And he's like, yeah, he's my friend. And we were like, do you have his number? And he was like, yeah. And then my boy Luke was like, oh, you should text him. And he's like, I'm not going to be that fucking guy that texts him. Like, he probably gets 900 texts, 900 fucking things. I'm not going to be that one guy. I want it to where if I'm texting or calling. To be fair, I actually did believe him. Like, because it was his voice on that album. Like, it was like a short.
Did he show you the? Well, so it was a talking part?
Yeah, like, you know how like some songs at the beginning they just have like a little snippet of something, and then they get into the song.
What's the song called?
Runny Eggs.
I'll check it out.
But yeah, I just thought it was cool. I was like, sometimes you just meet people and they just fucking know someone, you know?
Well, I didn't realize. Remember, I asked you Frankie Muniz because I've been watching. He's doing.
He lives in Scottsdale. He's my next door neighbor.
He was talking about. He mentioned something, and I was like, "That's in Scottsdale, right?" Like, I didn't know he lived here though, because he's doing a lot of press and promotion for the upcoming, which I am looking forward to. What is it? Malcolm in the Middle.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait to see that and what they're doing with that.
Didn't he get a DUI here? I feel like a lot of celebrities get DUIs here. Drake Bell. Do you know who that is?
Yeah, he's from Josh and Drake.
Drake and Josh. Yeah, he got a DUI.
Diddled by somebody? I think he got diddled or somebody.
They probably all did.
Well, yeah, from the Nickelodeon fucking.
They probably all did. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe not Josh Peck because he was unattractive and fat, but.
Well, not anymore. Now he's a handsome, thin man.
Yeah, but he's not a kid anymore, so no one wants to diddle him.
Yeah, I didn't realize that he lived here, and David, David Spade is from Arizona. I don't know if he still lives here.
A lot of people from here. The lead singer of Fun, Nate Ruiz, that's his name. I don't know. He's from here. I mean, obviously, a lot of football players are from ASU, Arizona.
Yeah. I don't know any famous people that live here. Do you? I think you're probably the most famous person I know because, all 48 of our people that viewed our last video know who you are. So,
yeah, obviously, MMA fighters. I'm more in tune with that. Sugar Sean O'Malley. Obviously, I train Brazilian jiu-jitsu, so like my version of fame is probably different from most other people. The fact that when I go compete, I'm seeing people who like are basically fucking like legends in my sport, and I'm just like, holy shit. Or like even old MMA fighters, like, holy shit, that's fucking Frank Mir, and he's right there. And or like Sean O'Malley, he's right there.
Well, see, I know who Frank Mir is. I mean, he's
right.
Yeah.
Mark Coleman's a good example. He lives fucking here in Scottsdale. Yeah. So when I see someone, right, for example, I'll just put it out there. I used to work at the Cardinal Stadium or State Farm Stadium. Chandler Jones, when he was what? I know.
I'm just sad when I hear the Cardinals name. Yeah. That's all.
Chandler Jones, right? Oh, when I met him, I wasn't too into football. I was like, oh, cool. And then when I found out his brother is fucking John Jones, the GOAT of MMA, despite what you want to think, I was like, I would have talked to that guy about his brother, not him. Like, I don't give a fuck that he's a football player. I want to talk about that, So it's just kind of weird.
Yeah.
So who do we? One more thing about celebrities. Who did we meet at that horror?
That was Dave Sheridan, bro. That was fucking Doofy. Remember when
we met him and we met Tommy Jarvis?
Oh yeah. So folks, in case you're wondering, me and Mike had gone to Terror Trader. I think they were sponsoring it was basically like a horror con kind of thing, a little small one in Mesa, Arizona, and I think we went there on Sunday, and it was better on Sunday because there was less people there. It wasn't as crowded, and we met Dave Sheridan Doofy, and I swear, and I don't care what you say, I looked at your face and you were like in awe, just staring at Doofy.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm like, do you want a picture? You're like, no. I was like, say hi, Doofy. I love Doofy.
I didn't want to be that guy. Yeah. I don't really get starstruck that often.
You looked it.
But I did because that I grew up watching Scary Movie, maybe not the best parenting choice, but oh well.
It could be worse films out there.
Yeah. But he just seeing something like you watch, like I swear to God, like if I ever meet someone from Star Wars, I'll just be like, like if I ever meet Mark Hamill, Ewan McGregor, even Hayden Christensen, I don't give a fuck what anyone says. I'm gonna be like, oh my god, that's him.
What about Dave? What's his name? Boyega. Dave Boyega in the newer Star Wars trilogies.
Remember John Boyega?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd fanboy out a little bit. Not as much. I don't think those movies had. I don't think those movies have had time to become legendary.
Right? No, they're still gonna suck ass for the rest of fucking eternity.
Listen.
No, stop it. Those three.
Listen. I
can do the first one. Okay, I can do The Force Awakens, but the rest of it is trash and should be burned and stricken from the record.
You need to blame Rian Johnson. It's not J.J. Abrams' fault. J.J. Abrams had a plan, and he was like, "Here, Ryan, here's the plan. Just stick to it.
Yes,
and
I want that
cash your $100 million check for directing a Star Wars movie." And Rian Johnson was like, "No, I want to be fucking different. I directed Ozymandias, one of the greatest TV episodes of all time. I can do whatever the fuck I want." And then he just took his load, right? He just took his load and just fucking shot it all over that fucking movie, okay? Don't tell me that you know what?
There was no plan.
That line, somehow Palpatine returned. You know why they had to write that?
Because they had no fucking ideas. That's why.
Because they did have an idea, and it got shit on. It got shit on, and it was like, no, they could have played it safe, and everyone would have loved Star Wars, and we'd be fine and copacetic, and everyone would be happy. But no, he had to. He had to blow it up. Him and his pride and his ego. If he would have just shut his mouth, done his job, we'd all be fine right now.
You know what, Mike? I once had a plan, and I ended up shitting all over myself. Like it just. I don't know. Look, anyway, I don't want to get into these. This is a whole nother thing we can get into at another time. But Back to kind of like when we were at the that horror con, I got kind of starstruck when we met Tommy Jarvis.
Mhm.
Tom,
The older
or
version
Tom.
of Tommy Jarvis, not
Yeah, he had just finished
not
that
Corey Feldman.
Never Hike Alone 2. Yeah, he's Tommy Jarvis in part 6 of Friday the 13th. Maggot Head. But he had just released that new Never Hike Alone 2, and he was kind of promoting that. And then we also met that dude from well, I don't even think you really knew who he was, but he was from Return of the Living Dead, and I forgot his name. He's like the Puerto
Bobby.
Rican dude or the
Yeah.
black dude. And he's
then
in Joanna Man. I don't know if you've ever seen that, but
Terrifier chicks from the first one.
Oh yeah, the blonde chick was there. Yeah,
And
but
well, And
well,
then,
we just saw the blonde girl.
What
Yeah,
was
we
his
didn't.
name? Billy Bob.
Oh no, Joe Bob. Yeah, I met Joe. We met Joe Bob. Mike didn't really dig him because I don't think Mike ever really knew who he was. But I got him to sign a picture. I didn't get Darcy to sign because she was out filming, so she wasn't there. So I was kind of bummed about that. So I had this picture with Joe Bob and Darcy, the male girl, and it's just him that signed it. But it was cool to meet him. We should actually go to another one. We should check out the one coming this year from Terror Trader. But yeah, that was the one I got starstruck on.
You know what's funny is that the age, we're from different generations, and what I saw this video and I sent it to you about Maya Hawke and Ethan Hawke were walking down the street, and some dude came up and was like, "Hey, can I get a photo?" And Ethan Hawke was like, No, I'm not taking photos right now, right? And then he was like, "I don't know who you are, dude. I want to talk to Robin from Stranger Things." And just to obviously I know who Ethan Hawke is. I've seen Training Day. I love Training Day. I don't think Maya Hawke has done enough for me to where if I saw them both on the street, there's no way I'm not going up to Ethan, right? He's just done so much more, right? And back in the early 2000s, 90s, I think he was one of the biggest actors, was he not?
He was, yeah. He was in a bunch of stuff in the early 2000s,
Gattaca.
late 90s, and he just kind of trailed off. And now he has that. He's kind of come back with the the phone. What is it? The phone book?
Black phone.
The what? The phone book, yeah.
Black phone.
Or Black Phone, excuse me. Yeah, I haven't seen the second one yet. Did you watch that one?
No, but before that, he was in Sinister, and that was a.
Yeah, I don't really dig that movie that much. There's a couple
I love that movie.
I mean, if I was geeking out when I saw him, it would be instantly in my mind Training Day. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you like to get wet, Jake?
I'm surgical with this bitch, Jake.
Yeah, you like to get wet, Jake. But I like Maya Hawke, and I hope she gets more work. And like I said, she totally reminded me of her mother in the last episode of Stranger Things.
Oh yeah, with her hair all long.
Yes, with her hair long, but that scene was goofy too. And then people were trying to relate that Conformity Gate to, they all have the same hair as Vecna. Like, what?
And they're all holding their hands in a certain way. And I was just like,
what was that about? Have you gone back and looked at that scene with the
No, I didn't. Look, it is official. Stranger Things has the most delusional fucking fan base of all time. They're delusional about and you know what? Conformity Gate all stemmed from fucking Byler. Mike and fucking Will being together. Okay. Here is the issue. It's okay that you want to ship them. That's fine. Okay. It's okay that, to have gay men represented in, well, technically they're gay. They're playing children. So I don't know how I feel about that, but representation is important, right?
Well, that's the problem I have with Sadie Sink is that, I mean, not just her, but all of them. They showed her, like you said, she's a pretty woman now, but then they show her when she's 12 years old, and it's okay. It's reminding you, hey, these are still little kids, man. Mm-hmm. So let me ask you something. What do you think would have happened if they had just done away with that goofy scene where, where he's coming out? And I don't mean it's goofy because he's coming out. I just mean the way everyone's just but
Or
that's the way it happens. Yeah, the timing. Like, anyway, what do you think if they had revealed he was gay by him just going up and like giving Mike a kiss? Would have just kissed Mike. Do you think the fans would have gone apeshit over that?
um, I think a lot of people would have been into it. I don't think. See, that's the See, here's the thing. I don't think the Duffer Brothers have the stones to fucking do something so brazen. Like, even if it was like Will kisses Mike and then Mike is like, oh no. You know why? Because the Duffer Brothers, all their characters are so precious to them. And how dare any of them have flaws, right? Like, oh, our token gay character just assaulted Mike by kid. Like, these are the kind of conversations that happen.
Right.
If you ever go on Reddit and look at the Buffy subreddit, dude, every other day there is a conversation about Spike and Xander being a fucking creep, and like Xander in today's day and age would be a fucking assaulter. I don't know. I can't think the word, but like, but then they'll turn around and being like, seeing red is actually a culmination of patriarchy, and I don't know. Yeah, it loses me. It loses me every time. Anyway,
well, it's funny you mentioned Buffy, because next week we are going to, you and I, get into our feelings and our thoughts on the Buffy reboot. So that'll be next week. So I'm glad you kind of segued into that. But go ahead and finish what your thoughts on Stranger Things.
No, I think the best shows are the characters. The best shows have the characters that are flawed, and we see these flaws, right? That's why Steve was such a big character, because he was an asshole, but like we saw, like, hey, he realized that everyone wants to root for the underdog, right?
Redemption, yeah.
So I would have respected if Will would have came out and just fucking planted one on him, and then Mike's like, I don't feel that way about you, I'm sorry. Like, that would have been powerful, because like I'm sure we've all been there where like maybe we misread a signal or something, and then it's awkward, And if you haven't, then go outside and touch fucking grass, you fucking nerd. Sorry, this is getting into another rant. I can't stand these fucking purity tests, these fucking people online who are like, well, actually, you have about 2.7 seconds to react whenever you're given a signal, and if you don't, then it's assault. Like, I can't fucking stand it. People make mistakes. And like, everyone's an armchair quarterback about everything. Like, shut the fuck up. Yeah, anyway, but like, look at Breaking Bad, right? Like, who's one of the most beloved characters in that show?
Hank?
Towards later on, sure. He's even got some flaws, right? He's a bit of a fucking
RJ
in the first season.
Yeah,
he's a bit of a sexist and a little bit racist. Like, he says some racial slurs towards Gomi. Obviously it's in jest, but still. But like, okay, Jesse, right? Jesse's probably most people's favorite character because they feel bad for him, right? Don't forget, Jesse fucking killed someone, killed multiple people, fucking did a lot of bad shit.
I thought you were going to say Todd.
No, fuck Todd. Fuck Todd. But like, look at Jesse, flawed character. He's killed people. He is not just killed like in self-defense. He straight up murdered Gail.
Yeah.
Right. But we still feel bad for him, and we're still rooting for him, and that's why they did El Camino, was to give him a proper send-off that everyone wanted to see. Right. Look at Saul Goodman. They had a whole show about how he went from a man who's trying his best to, you know what, fuck this, back to, you know what.
It's all about a man really trying to survive. He just found his way. Like, he just wanted to find a way to survive. He was just trying to live, you know what I mean? He ended up, through circumstances, becoming this huge lawyer. So
Yeah. Well,
I love Better Call Saul.
I look at Better Call Saul as a man trying his best to do right by everyone in his life, and then he fails. Kind of like Darth Vader, right? If you think about it, it has the exact same beats, right? They're troubled upbringing. They're trying. They fall, and then at the very end, they do the right thing, right?
Yeah. Let me ask you, if you were watching the Breaking Bad world, would you watch Breaking Bad first, or would you watch Better Call Saul then
Better Call Saul? Or I'm sorry, I didn't. Which would I watch first?
Yeah,
Breaking Bad.
Really?
Better
still
Call
watch
Saul,
it that way?
Yes, because Better Call Saul has the better ending to the universe.
It also has flashbacks. Never mind, because I'm thinking the whole show is a flashback.
If we're talking about chronological order, I still like that would be interesting. Like watch everything in the order that it happens.
Right.
But Better Call Saul was the perfect ending to it all. Right.
Right.
It tied up Jimmy's story. It showed us what happened. Right.
Yeah.
What the hell?
What happened?
I don't know.
You got gunshots out there?
No, I don't. I don't live in that bad of a neighborhood. But yeah, no, it was just the proper send off, and I love how they're like they sent a message with that ending, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whenever you get into a life of crime, people usually say there's 3 ways out, right? You either end up in jail, you end up dead, or you get away with it.
Yeah.
Walt ended up dead. Jesse got away with it. Saul went to prison. Right. And I think that's the perfect boom. We got to see each of the three ends. Perfect. Because if you think about it, we could have swapped it all around, right? Maybe Walt was the one who ended up in prison. Saul's the one who gets away. Jesse dies, right? You could have arranged them in any order, but if you did it that way, then it doesn't have the same impact.
Right.
Right. Because like, can you imagine if Walt got away with it and like, oh, everything's just fine.
I'm just thinking like if somebody did a cut where, they took out the scenes where the black and white scenes where Saul is basically working at that donut shop. If they took those out,
Cinnabon, show respect.
The Cinnabon, there you go. If they took those out and then just put it chronologically before Breaking Bad, would that be a good way to watch that? I don't know.
You mean after Breaking Bad?
What do you mean? No, before Breaking Bad. So
why would you watch it before Breaking Bad?
Well, that's because I'm saying if you took out the parts, so Better Call Saul has flashbacks. So if you took out the flashback or the Cinnabon scenes, all the scenes where it's current, if you took all those out and just edited together the flashbacks and then put them before Breaking Bad, would that be a good way to watch it? So you're watching everything chronologically before we meet Walter White. Would it be a good way to watch? I don't know. It seems to me like it could be an interesting cut, but it's just a thought,
Yeah, and I mean, with stories that do prequels and sequels, I think the best way you have to watch them is the order in which they were released, right?
I agree.
Like, yeah, it could be cool to like go back, but like if it's your first time, I think you got to watch them in the order they were released because certain scenes aren't going to hit the way they're supposed to.
Yeah.
Like in Better Call Saul, when we see Gus in the background and like Jimmy's like searching through the trash, like it would not hit the same if we didn't know who Gus was. Like, why do I give a fuck about this guy with glasses and a yellow shirt fucking coming up? I don't. Right?
Well, the moral of the story, folks, is check out Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul because they're fucking badass. That being said, Michael, you got any final thoughts on Stranger Things? Do you still feel the same way you did after we did our reaction after immediately watching it? Do you still feel the same way, or do you have different thoughts?
Yeah, I think it was a decent end. I give it a 7 out of 10. It played it safe. If it wanted a higher score in my book, it would need to have taken a risk somewhere. It would need to have killed someone. Like, just straight up, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You cock teased me for 4 seasons with Steve's death. I'm glad they didn't kill Steve because he was my favorite character. But like, and then you do an interview saying it's a fucking bloodbath, and
I think
a bunch of unnamed soldiers fucking died.
Right.
Okay.
Well, I think they blew their load with the killing of what's his name? The kid that fucking Dustin was fucking crying over for 2 seasons.
Eddie Munson.
Eddie. I think they blew their load with that, killed him off, and they thought maybe that was enough to please people and make the stakes higher. But then, yeah, it was a huge letdown. For me, I still feel the same way, and I give it a thumbs down. I'm sorry. It just didn't do it for me. That's all.
I think if you were to go back in time, people were saying like, hey, instead of adding all these new characters just to die, why don't we actually like use characters who in later seasons are fucking useless, like Jonathan and Nancy? Like, what the fuck did they do?
Yeah.
Instead of Eddie dying in season 4, make it Jonathan. That would be huge. Like, okay.
That would have been cool. And then, but then they would have kind of had to retool season 5 because
for what?
They had that little tiny, conflict between Steve and what'd you say his name was? Jonathan. So we could have done without that. That was
cut it out. Who gives a fuck? And guess what? You don't need that breakup scene if one of them's fucking dead. That's the breakup right there.
I kind of wanted Nancy to get with Steve, so I'm hoping maybe the implication that they are going to get together.
No. The implication was Nancy needed to be on her own, do her own thing. Kind of like
I guess.
Kind of like Buffy. You know what? I think they did Nancy's character very well. I did. Personally, I like a woman who's strong, who's no nonsense, and we see her develop into that. And then she's like, I need to do my own thing, right?
Right.
She's cookie dough. She's not done. She's not done. One day she'll be ready to be consumed by someone. But until
guys,
then,
if you get that reference, you get us. If you get that reference.
And to wrap things up with Doomsday, in short, you're fucking insane if you don't think this is going to be the biggest movie of all time. If you're not excited, I don't know what you want. What do you want? Like,
I don't know. Again, what could be bigger than what they're about to do? I don't think there could be anything. What other storyline in the comic books could be more powerful than
Secret Wars?
Secret Wars, man. That's like the culmination of everything. But anyway, let's leave it at that, Mike. I want to thank you for joining me today. Again, folks, next week, me and Mike are going to get into our feelings on the Buffy reboot and whatever else comes up. Again, Mike, thanks for joining us, and thank all of you. You got anything you want to promote, Mike? Or
no, I'm doing my thing. I got some things baking in the background.
He's cookie dough too, folks. He's on the oven. Anyway, thanks you all for watching. For Sons of Cinema, I'm Ron. That's Mike, and we'll see you all next time. Peace.